So it appears that Donald Trump had a bit of a Sunday night breakdown on Truth Social because late Sunday evening / into Monday morning, he got on Truth Social and repeatedly ranted and raved about the investigations from Special Prosecutor Jack Smith. And of course, as is now customary for Donald Trump, he also issued what can be perceived to be a threat, or at the very least, a call to action for his deranged supporters. So there were a couple posts. Here's the first one that Trump put out. He said, "How many times can crooked Joe Biden's Department of Injustice," at that point he switches to all caps, "together with their local Democrat DAs and AGs indict his political opponent during the course of the campaign? Do they understand the damage being done to America? It will only get worse. We must stop these monsters from further destroying our country." That, of course, would be the call to action to his deranged followers, right? To the lunatics out there. We must stop these monsters. We must stop the steal. You must fight like hell. His supporters hear those words and immediately think, he's telling me to go do a thing. And that thing in this particular instance is stop the monsters. The monsters, as he told us, are the Department of Justice, Jack Smith, DAs, and AGs, presumably in Manhattan and New York, the ones who have indicted him and or are suing him. That's what he is essentially sending out this dog whistle for. Go do something to save me. This is now the third time in the last 7 days that Donald Trump has sent out a message to his supporters, not necessarily instructing them to, but saying it vaguely enough that they would interpret it as an instruction. He continued in a second post on Truth Social, "Do you think that AG Garland and deranged Jack Smith understand that we are in the middle of a major political campaign for President of the United States? Have they looked at recent poll numbers? Why didn't they bring these ridiculous charges years before? Why did they wait to bring them now? A virtually unheard of scenario. Prosecutorial misconduct, election interference." Well, let me go ahead and set you straight on that, bud. This is not election interference at all. These investigations, every single one of them, were actually started prior to you officially announcing that you were running for president of the United States. So if anything, your presidential run is interfering with ongoing investigations. You know, you want to hurl that claim against the DOJ, we'll hurl that claim back at you, because they were investigating you before you became a candidate. And as your aides and advisors, according to Maggie Haberman, have been telling us, you want to be president so you can pardon yourself for the crimes that you most likely committed. So, you know, you're the one doing the interfering. But let's look at the other thing. Like, have they looked at the polls recently? What does that have to do with anything? And I'm sure they have looked at the polls that show that you're getting your butt kicked by at least 5 points by President Biden in hypothetical head-to-head matchups. Oh, you're winning that Republican primary. There's no doubt about that. Right? We've seen those polls, absolutely. But why does that matter? The only thing that matters really is the general election, and you're not winning that according to all of the polls since May. So maybe don't direct people towards the polls because they're not exactly as flattering as you'd think they were. And then he shared a meme that actually had a Q hashtag on it. And the meme said, "Nothing can stop what is coming. Nothing." Once again, something that could be perceived by his lunatic supporters as instructions. You have to do this and nothing can stop you. That is one way that some of the people that follow him will interpret that. They are what's coming, and nothing can stop them. So, Trump, of course, is misdirecting people, claiming the investigations are election interference, even though they began long before the elections. And we have the explicit call to action, we must stop the monsters. So, ball's in Jack Smith's court. right? He actually does have the authority to put Trump in jail pending his trial. That's not out of the realm of possibility, especially considering some of the things that Trump has been indicted for. Other people indicted for the same thing in the past have been sent to jail prior to their trial because they were deemed to either be threats or because they were a national security threat, for retaining and sharing classified information. So that certainly is a possibility. I do not, however, think it's one that Jack Smith would consider. So we're just going to have to endure months and months and months of Donald Trump telling his followers to do horrible things without actually telling them to do horrible things. He knows how their minds work, and he knows how to phrase it just well enough to where he can't be technically charged with inciting violence, but he says it just enough to where his supporters will interpret it as such. Hey everyone, this is Aspen. And did you know that for the low cost of $0 per day, you can subscribe to the Fair and Balanced YouTube channel? We also encourage you to like, comment, and share, but again, click that subscribe button and help Aspen not be so grumpy.